Whenever I complete any of these videos, at the end I always ponder all the different things I forgot to mention, and that usually ends up in some future video or I never get to it. But in this case, with the kitchen islands, I realized immediately that there was a number of different cabinet and island related things that I really should elaborate on. So let's continue on as part two of this series on islands and cabinetry in AutoCAD Architecture using ARCHIdigm's Kitchen Cabinets Kit. Okay, so we'll go here to the content catalog in the browser. We'll take a look at kitchen cabinets. In G1 cabinets, I mentioned in part one that we had solutions for waterfall edges. So here's the two solutions we currently offer. One is based on a slab and the other one's based on a curtain wall. Let's start with the slab one. So if I insert into the drawing here, and I just go ahead and I draw this thing 5 feet over, and let's say 4 feet this direction, and O to orthogonally close, what will happen, I'm going to go ahead and isolate this object. What will happen is you get a box, and it could be a bit confusing. If I do realistic, you'll see, let's go to high detail. So you get this nice marbled box, but it's a box. And the reason is in order to bring in custom edges, we just assigned the edges to be, the waterfall part. And so better than to make you try to figure out how to put the edges on, we just defaulted the edges. So there's a quick and simple way to work with this. Now, if you want 3 edges as waterfall edges, it's cool, you're almost done. But typically, right, you'll have just the 2 edges. So select this object, go down to Edit Slab Edges, and just pick the 2 edges that you want removed, and it'll come up like this. And you just grab both of them and set them to standard or none, and you're done. You have your waterfall edged island. And of course, you can lengthen that. Oops, always grabbing the wrong thing here. I want to pull this out. Slabs are tricky because you have that overhang part or grip. So now the island's a little bit longer. So it defaults, it's a slab style, so it'll default to a 3-inch thickness. Now if you want something else, like say a 2-inch thickness, it is going to kind of tweak it a little bit, and you'll notice the elevation height is 2.9, so for a 3-foot height, you're going to have to bump that up to 2.10, so it comes back up to the right height. And then you will notice there's a slight gap now because those edges were designed for a 3-inch thickness, but it's not a big deal. What you can do is just go to top view here, go back to wireframe, and then go ahead and type in profile, P for polyline, and look for the waterfall edge profile. So this is the kitchen island edge 3x33. All right, so just now pay attention to where it inserts. You may even want to snap to something. So it wants that edge or that insertion point. And what I need to do is I need to increase that by 1 inch. So I'm stretching it down 1 inch. And then I'm going to do profile. I'm going to go back to D for definitions. I'm going to take this and drag and hold my control key down, make a copy, and I will rename this one to 34. All right, and then I'll just do a right-click set from, and snap there, and OK, and OK. All right, and so, oops, you know what I did? I made that still 3 inches. Let's stretch this over 1 inch. All right, so make sure ortho's on. Come on, ortho. There we go, 1 inch. All right, let's do that again. Profile, D for definition, right-click, set from. There, and I almost made this mistake. This should say 2x34. All right, and then apply, and OK. All right, so now we can just assign the new edge. So we'll pick that. We'll go over here to edges on the properties palette, and we'll see the 2 that are remaining. Those are the ones we want to keep. Highlight both and set them to, oh, one more thing. I'm jumping too fast. We want to do a slab edge style. And again, we'll copy this down and we'll rename this thing 2 by 34. And I should go over here 2 inches thick. Oops, it's this one. And 34. All right, and 2 by 34. So we change the settings in here. This one, because it's a soffit. Now we can use it. So now we'll grab this, go to edges, take this and this, oops, this too, and set it to 2 by 34. All right, and puzzle by the air. Oh, right here. This should be 2 inches. Yeah. There we go. And let's do a realistic. There we go. Yeah, so there's a little bit of a little bit of tweaking and a little bit of extra work that has to be done to work with a slab as your waterfall edge. So we created another one. But keep in mind, this may offer things that you would prefer to have. But so let's go back, and you'll notice right next to it is this one here. This is the one I always go for first. This is based on a curtain wall. So I just draw the curtain wall out, and I'm all done. It even has a center divider. And when I'm rapidly mocking up kitchens for a client, and I know that they want waterfall edge solution, this is the one I'm going to go for. And then later I'll worry about, is it deep enough? Because that's the limiting factor here is resetting the depth, and we'll take a look at that. But boom, you're done. You're ready to go, and it looks good in plan view as I recall. We'll go to top view. Yeah, it kind of looks like that. Now, if you look at, let's see, medium is probably the most common one for printing. So it'll look sort of like that in medium. Go back to the first video, and I showed that you can just go into the display properties and turn off components if you don't want to see. I think there's also an example if you go to low detail. Oh no, it still shows stuff in there. That makes me think I should probably review what it looks like in low. And let's fix that right now. In low, I would set the cut plane to 3 feet is okay. So what we want to do is we just want the above. Here's what we can do. Let's do above only and turn everything else off. Do the cut plane at 2 foot 11.5. And 2 for 11.5, above, not hidden. There, I can see the problem there. Frame, let's try that. There we go. So what it's doing is just showing the frame of the above. And that should conform to the layer. So you could change the layer to, let's say, this, and it'll turn that color, yeah. We'll put it back to case. Okay, so, don't be afraid to just go in there and change cut planes and components to get the results that you are looking for. So we'll just go back to medium. We tend to show more rather than less because it's easier to turn things off than it is to figure out what to turn on and get the right line quality. Often when I'm doing islands, I will want to show the sitting area. So I will want some dash lines, and I hate to have to go in there and draw those, as 2D line work. So I think this is how I show it myself in my drawings. All right, so from part one, putting some cabinetry in there. Let's see, we can use this base cabinet, or I wanted to show you, if you don't have that one, you can use this one. All right, so this is just your standard base cabinet, and draw it across here. All right, so it comes in with the splash. If I do a conceptual, so I'm just going to take this. I'm going to pull this down to the height. What was the heights in here somewhere? Like that. All right. Yeah. And so now I'll just pull it back. So I'm going to reduce the depth. I think was something like that, 1 inch. Yeah. So now that lines up. Now, if you want to recess it more, you could do another inch, so you have a little bit of a reveal. And then on the other side, if that's, if you want cabinetry on the other side, we'll just do a mirror, and we'll mirror this over. Oops. Mirror, and then do midpoint. All right, and then that looks pretty good, but let's pull it in. Let's pull it in about 12 inches or so. Oh, that's a very shallow, but you get the idea. And then if you were to realistically show this or render it, I mean, you've got your massing all laid out. Most clients are sharp enough to understand that that is cabinetry, and there'd be doors and drawers put in there. And go to part 1 to see my discussion on doors and drawers. What else here? So what you might want to do is start changing materials. And I knew I should have gotten into that. So if you go back out here, go to kitchen cabinets, take a look here at the list, and you can see, I think right here, KC materials. So we have materials all set to go. And they are organized for the function, and the reason that is so that the hatch patterns and the line weight when you do your 2D projected sections and elevations work out right. If you just grab any material and throw it on there, you may not like the results that you see in plan versus elevation versus a section. So try to match it up as best you can. Let's see, what do I want here? Let's go to this is upper body. These are base cabinets. Here's one with Oak Classic. I think Oak Classic 1 is pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and just do this. Insert in the drawing and select there. And this object, yep. So now I've switched that material. Now, once I've got the material in there, I have it in my drawing, and I can just go to the object, edit the wall style, go to the materials, and see now I have the classic oak. Let's say I also want the base to have the same, so I'll just set it here rather than doing all that other work. Okay, and likewise, I can change the countertop material. So if we go forward, here are countertops. So let's do granite in red. So I'll insert this. I'll go ahead and select on there. And it found whatever it found. I just picked, and like I did before, I showed you, just pick the object, and it has the material on there now. So here's red 1, and I want it for these 2 parts too. So red 1, like so. All right, and so now we have a red granite top. So, and there's other ways to get at the materials, but we set that up so you can run through. If you are doing like countertops, and you want different materials, we have in the G3 cabinets, we see part 1. If you go all the way to the end, let's see, here, there's a whole section of just countertops alone, because those go well with the G3 cabinets. So here's the marble. Let's see, here's a concrete one. So it'll just come in concrete, right? There's others in here. Marble red, stainless steel. Of course, that won't look like stainless steel until you render it. All right, so that's part of what I wanted to get into, but there was more. Bring these cabinets back. Now, here was a bank of well, let me just bring in, actually, let's start a different drawing. And let me bring in a G2 cabinet. G2 cabinet right here. A standard one with kicks on both ends. You don't have to use that, but I wanted to share something You draw this out like this. Okay. If you are working with these, which I have said many times, I pretty much don't use these. If I want to go to the level where I want doors and drawers and all that, I'll use the G3s because I can really control what's going on. The G2s are curtain walls, and they sort of are maybe hampered a little bit by the idea of repetition. So you have this one curtain wall, and then you get into, well, curtain walls are designed well for breaking things up into increments. So it all becomes sort of even increments here, right? So each of these doors and drawers are exactly the same length based upon a division of like 3. You're seeing the 3, right? So if I keep pulling it out, eventually it'll go to 4. But you don't really have control over that. The curtain wall object is doing that work for you. If you use the G3s, you can specify exactly what you want for length of each thing. But here we are, and it does work for more people than I thought. I'm seeing people respond back, how do I do this, how do I do that with the G2s? So we'll leave them in the product, and I'll just show you how they were designed to do other things than what I see here. So for example, check this out. You can select it. Now be careful you don't select the inside part here. This right here, it's actually made up of 3 things. The outer part is a curtain wall. The sort of middle part is a door window assembly. And then the final part is doors. That's what makes up the whole thing. And keep in mind, upper cabinets are exactly the same way. So if I select this outer part here, that's the body. I'll right-click, and I'll go up here to Infill, and I'll say Show Markers. All right, so then you get to see these curtain wall markers. They are cell markers designed for glazing in a curtain wall, but in this case, they're going to be useful for doing the door and drawer modification. So let's say this one here, number 3 from the left, I want to change. So I can go ahead and select it again, go to Infills and do an override on the assignment, select the marker back here, enter, and then I can come down on a list we've predefined inside the style. So you'll see door and drawer. I can go to 4 or 3. These are preset in there, or a single door. So I'll go to 4 drawers and OK. And so that's what that does. So I can keep going. I can modify each of these, but I'll stop with that. So now to get rid of, these won't print, by the way, but they're annoying. So select the object again, go back to Infill, and then just say hide markers. All right. But so then you get realistic. You get this look, right? I like to show it in conceptual because it reads better. And then, if you want to go further, I'm not going to dig into that in this video, but if you want to go farther into this, you can start digging into these DW. You can edit here. You can edit door window assembly style. And that is what sets up a door on the bottom and a drawer on the top. So it's a mini curtain wall. It's a door window assembly, but that basically is a mini curtain wall that can reside inside. So a DWA can sit inside of a curtain wall to define a new pattern. And you can see here the grow, it's set to, once it hits over 2 feet, it'll create another bank. And then the drawer, so if we go to divisions here, you'll see that 6 1/4 inch is where the division occurs for the drawer. So if you wanted to say, make this 12, then you'll see the drawers get really big. So you can have quite a bit of control and options for doing what you need. You can even get into the handles. I think that pretty much covers what I wanted to get into for this segment. Take a look here. If we get into the G3s and we draw, so I don't think there's much here. A G3 is basically what it is. So for example, if you got, I think we covered most of the bases here, but I mean, this would be crazy, but if you inserted maybe a G3 like this, oops, where'd it go? You could take that and you could do modifications to it. I think that's a little too long length. Let's make that 24. So it operates similar to what you saw over here, except this is just a curtain wall with, if we go here to edit curtain wall style. So we've simplified it a little bit. There is no there's nothing sitting, there's no there's no door window assembly in it. It is just a curtain wall with the objects themselves. So for example, now that I've gone in to edit it, right here on the primary grid, you'll see by default, it's set up to just have one door. But you can go in and take a look at the other infills that we programmed into it. So it could be changed. So for example, I can say, you know what, on this one, I want it to have 2 doors. And I come out and it becomes a 2-door. So it's a 2-door full height. Likewise, you can go in there and you can say, well, let's see, I really want the drawer. So I think that becomes 1 drawer, yeah, like a file cabinet. And those were just preset door styles. So if you go to door style, you'll see that we have them defined as cabinet doors, and there you can modify any of these. Take a look at any one. Here's the drawer, and you can see here dimensions. We just kind of tweaked a regular door to behave like something you would want for a cabinet. For example, if I go to the base door single, let's do that. Let's go to display properties. Let's go to model. Let's go to other. Let's go down to override the swing angle. Uncheck that. Apply, and OK. Then let's go back to this guy here, and then we'll go to door. So it is now it has a door on it that you can control because I took the override off. So I can say something like 30 open. Right. So it is just a regular door, but it has no frame, no stop. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the second part here, and I'm out.